So I don't know if there is someone who is having a question regarding what we have been learning for the last about 7 days. So any question? As we wait for the others to join. So Fahinunga, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I think Fahi, you have never like spoken this class.
I'm always in it. Sometimes it's Waidanje Nonga,
Uh,
sometimes it's Fahinonga, depending on the email I'm using.
okay.
Yes.
Because Fahi is a new name.
No, it's short form for Faith.
Oh, oh okay. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yes.
Any question from what we have been learning?
Not really.
Okay. You can see we are 17 and we are supposed to be about that. So I don't know why most of you are not joining.
Let me ask.
Yes, ask.
Workbench. You have talked about workbench many times.
Sorry?
Is it the same as when I'm just on this page of SQL? Is what you mean by workbench?
Oh yeah, that is the UI version of SQL. We have the workbench and we have the command line interface.
Mm.
So when I talk of SQL reason, I don't know if you're able to see my screen. Let me just share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Uh, so this is the UI version of SQL. That is, it's called MySQL Workbench. And now we have the CMD, the command line interface of SQL. So this one is like the most used version, especially for beginners. But again, you should learn how to use the command line. I think that is clear, Martin.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So any other question regarding yesterday's work, or as we wait for the others to join? I, I think there is a person who had asked how to import data from Excel to Workbench. So I think we will cover that today. Because today I want us just to work on indexes. We're going to learn what are indexes and how they operate in SQL. So any other question? we need. We need any question? Winnie? I want to share with you guys a database. Not a database, but data that we are going to be using. Let me just share that right now. Let me just stop sharing just a little bit, then share the data. Where is this data? Let me just check. Just a minute. So in the meantime, you can ask any question as I share the data. Yes, John?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So we had another software called my SQL console. Will it work the same way the way we worked with the workbench?
SQL console.
My SQL console.
I think previously I haven't used MySQL console. I think what I've interacted with mostly is the workbench and the CMD. I don't know the interface for the MySQL console. Unless maybe you have you interacted with it?
Yes, I have been interacted. I wanted even to share the software, but I changed the Windows, so I lost everything. So I wanted to share to see if some of us have interacted with it.
Okay, I haven't interacted with it yet. Does it have a user interface? Or
Yes, it has interface. You have to create a database, and then from there you can create various tables.
ahead of it. I think the data I'm trying to get is right here. So I think you can check your WhatsApp, the WhatsApp group. Is an Excel file. Can you download the file? Download the file and then we just create a database population. I think by now everybody is able to create a database. Let me share my screen. So we are going to create a database population here. Let me just drop this and create it again. So population. So this is our database, and you can see it doesn't have tables. So
James, I hope you're recording, eh?
yes.
Okay.
So when you want to import a database from let me just show you the file that we are going to upload. It's somewhere here. Let me just open it in Excel. This is the database or the file. This is the file that or the data that you are going to upload. So you notice it has like, is it seven fields? That is the ID field, first name, last name, email, gender, and IP address for each and every person. So there is someone who asked if you have over 1 million records, do you insert those records through the normal way? If you have the file in an Excel format, you can upload that. So that is what I want us to do right now. So I can just close these and so I have created this database that is called population. So I'll just come where you can see tables, and then I'll just right click, and then there is this option of table data import wizard. I'm going to use this. So I'll click that, and then I'll browse the file path for that file. In my case, it is in downloads. I can just use the quick access. I'll get that. It is in downloads. It's called population data. In downloads. Let me check. Let me just find the location. It is in downloads. Yeah, downloads. Let me select. Oops, we can just upload comma separated values. So let us just change this extension name for this file. Let me just show you how we do that. We're just going to open
James,
it in the Excel. And then you press where you can see file. And then you're going to save as. You choose the location that you want to save the data. In my case, I'll choose desktop. And then you can just click this drop down. You will see some options here. You look for the comma separated values, that is CSV. Can use this and then save. Yeah, then I can just close this. So I'll now browse to desktop. Then you can see that the population data is available now. Then I'll just press open, click next. Are we together up to that point?
Kindly repeat just James.
Okay. Let me just cancel the whole process. We start afresh. So we're going to press tables, that is below population database. Then the drop down has an option of table data import wizard. Then you can just you'll press browse. But in my case, it has already like selected the file. But you can just press browse, and then you just move to the location of your file. I don't know if we are together up to that point. Who is left behind?
I'm behind, eh?
How can we help you? are you stuck? James.
Mine is download, It's Martin. But I can't. I don't find it when I go to through SQL. Try to locate it. My download is empty.
Oh, simply because you haven't changed this population file underscore data into comma separated various file.
Okay.
That is CSV. Have you changed it?
How do I do that?
Okay, initially I set an Excel file. So what you're going to do is open that file in Excel.
Okay, so
open that file in Excel.
Yes.
Let me just repeat that process again. Let's use this. Let me just open it from here. Just here. So initially we have an Excel file, right? So you're going to press file, and then save as. And then you're just going to choose the location that you want to put the file. In my case, I did I selected desktop. And then after selecting the desktop, below here you're going to get some options right here.
Okay.
So you have so many options. You are going to find the CSV file, the one CSV and then MS-DOS. You can use this one. Right?
Okay.
You can just press that and then save. So in my case, it will ask if I want to replace that file, but because I already have it, but I don't want to do that, so I'll just cancel. I think we are together up to that point.
Yes, yes.
I'm hoping no one is left behind.
I'm left behind somewhere.
Yes.
Where you got from the create table part, now from there nimepotea.
Okay. So what we are doing first when at Workbench, the first step is to create a database. And I think by now everybody is able to create a database. And the name of our database is population. I already did that, and you can see it here. Right?
Yes, yes.
So when I press this drop down here, I'll see an option table, right? And then I'll just have to right click the option, and then I'll get another drop down here that have some options. That is create table like search table. And then my interest is in this option, that is table data import wizard, this one. I'll just press this, and this will redirect me to a wizard. It's called a data import wizard, whereby I'm supposed to browse the location of the file that I've already changed into CSV. Then you can just press this. Then you'll select the data. Where you saved your data. Are we together up to that point?
Yes.
James,
Yes.
mine is not. When I go to browse the files,
Yeah.
I'm unable to get the file I have just downloaded. That is the exact file you have sent.
Yes, that file you are to change it into a CSV file.
I see.
CSV
A
file.
CSV.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll have to change it to a CSV file.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
So any other person who is left behind?
Does this mean that what SQL cannot accept anything that is in any other form apart from CSV?
Or that is the error that you're getting?
No, I'm just asking, like, if I want to a file on SQL, it has to be in CSV.
Yes, it must be a CSV file or a JSON file.
Okay.
Yeah, it must be of type CSV or a JSON file. I'm hoping we are together up to that point. So I'll just press next.
okay, sorry for disturbing. Is it CSV comma delimited or CSV?
You can use that one.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I think you have an updated version of Word. At here you will see that we have some options, and we have these options here. We have using existing table, and we have create new table. So because our database has no tables, we are going to choose this option, create new table, and you can even click this or check this button here, just to make sure in case that table exists, you will just drop it and create a new one. So I'll just press next. And you'll notice that we have a table that is created here. We have all the columns like they have been created automatically. Where we have ID, that is first name. We have last name, email, gender, and IP address. I think everybody is getting something like this. And even you can change the data type, but we can move on with this text data type, that is text. But this one we can change it into email, and even there is no option for email. So we can just move forward with our text. So I'm going to press next. So the next thing, you are told that the following task will now be performed. So please monitor the execution. So I think we can press this one. That is the prepare these are the operations that are going to happen. That is preparing the import and then import the data file. So we can just create next to execute. It will take some few minutes depending on the data that you have. That is the size of data you have. So we can wait for it to finish.
Mine is already finished. Is it correct?
How fast?
As soon as I clicked.
Mine too.
I think you guys you have been. Did you upload the right data?
Yeah, it's correct. Data.
Okay, I think my machine is a bit slow, so you guys will move with my pace.
Mine was also instantaneous.
You guys you have I think my machine is a bit slow. So you guys you're going to bear with me. I think I have opened a lot of applications, but anyway you can good. Even mine has finished instantaneously. So I think you can just click next to finish up, and you will get like a summary for your data. We are told that we have 1,000 records imported, so you can just click finish. Then you can just navigate to.
I think I know why ours was instantaneous.
Why?
It did not show the 1,000 records imported. It showed 0. So now I have the table with only the column names.
But you don't have the data.
Yeah, I don't have the data, but I've done exactly what you did.
Let me just refresh this. I'm also doubting if also mine has.
Okay.
I think mine has. Let me just check to make sure that I have the data. So yeah, I have the data. So who else is not getting the data? By show of hands. So we have Vince. Any other person? Uh, that is Brianna. Any other person? Alice, have you managed?
I'm looking now. Not yet completed.
Okay, I can see Raban have imported the data. Any other person who has managed? To good. I think a number have managed. So I think we can just repeat the process just to make sure that everyone has the data, because this is the data that we're going to be using to create index. So let us just check this. I think the easiest way, Vince, are you able to share your screen?
Let me share mine.
Yes, share yours so that we can work with yours. I think I can stop sharing. Good. I think for those who haven't managed, you should follow this.
Are you seeing mine?
Yes, I can see yours. Navigate to workbench. Yeah. So you already have the database in place. So you can
Is
just
it?
right click on tables. Then look for option table data import wizard.
I had done before. I wanted to check with you whether it was correct.
Okay, can you put your cursor on population?
Yes.
And right click. Can you press fresh all? Refresh all.
Refresh all. Where is it?
It is the last option. Yes, I think now you have the data.
I have mine.
Yes.
Oh, I have mine.
Yeah, you have it.
Even I think even the other gentleman can also check the same way because mine was also very fast.
Okay. You guys, you can train and refresh just to ensure that you have the data with you. It is as simple as that. And I'm hoping that now there is nobody who is left behind. Who is left behind? I think we are good. So this is the data that we are going to be using. It has 1,000 records. And I want us to do some analysis here. I want us to do some analysis here. So we are going to, you can just cancel that, and then we move to query. And I want us to just to monitor how many seconds it will take for us to retrieve all the data in this table. So let's just select all the data. I think I can just do that by
Excuse me.
Having this query. Yeah.
Excuse.
Yes, baby.
This Martin, eh?
Oh, okay, Martin.
There's something that I asked you before, but
yes. What did you ask?
The query whatever thing.
Oh, this query.
The screen you are displaying before. Where do you click?
This one.
Yes. Where did you click to get that one?
Okay,
I think now we are. I think I'm on the same page, but on top there you are writing query 1.
Okay.
So where you get
you can just even cancel that query 1. Because what I want is that you navigate to your tables on the population database.
Yes.
And our focus is on this population data underscore data. So you can just select this the last icon here. This is the query that I want. This one.
The heading is population, eh?
Yes, population underscore data. This is the query that I want. And I want us and I want you guys to check how many the time it has taken for it to execute to retrieve all this data.
Okay.
Let me just execute once more. Is select done. I think it is taking 0.01 seconds, right? Who is able to see that from his work page? So what normally happens is when you have let's say you have 1 billion records, it will take much time to retrieve this data. Sometimes it can even take maybe 4 point something seconds. It can take even 8, depending on the number of records that you have in your database. Instead of now waiting for all that time, just to execute just a simple maybe just a simple select query, or maybe whatever query you are working with, instead of now waiting for all that time. So what we normally do is we create index just to reduce the amount of time that it will take to retrieve the data that you are looking for. And this case normally happens when you have maybe an organization database where you have more than maybe 1 million records, and then maybe you are told by maybe your is it your supervisor or whatever guy who is in charge, that maybe we want certain data. So depending on the number of records that you have in your database, it might take time. So what we normally happen is what we normally use is now index. We bring index in we normally use index, and that is what I want us like to learn today, how we normally create those indexes, how to use them, where do you use them, and the types of indexes that we have. I think we can just start with the definition of what are indexes.
1 minute. I don't know whether it's me that has done something wrong. I cannot see a drop down on my tables and the population.
Alice, can't hear you well. What is your issue?
Saying,
Yes.
I cannot see a drop down of my tables and the population, but I can see the data has uploaded like on the main feed. So I don't know what I've done wrong.
Okay. I think James is in position to explain that. James Tut, are you able to help Alice?
I didn't get the question.
He's experiencing the same issue that you had.
Yeah, let her refresh. Let her go to population and then was it right click? Yeah, right click under population.
And
Right
then
click.
you'll see this option here, Alice.
Yeah, and then
yes, you right click on your database and then you see option refresh all. Then you can just press that. I think your tables will appear.
Oh, it's done. Thank you.
Okay. So I was saying that I want to introduce to us this concept of indexes. And by definition, we are told that these are special lookup tables.
James, let me ask you. Excuse.
Yes.
This thing you are calling indexes, is this supposed to be indices, the plural of index? Or this is a SQL language?
Index. It is supposed to be indexes, or even you can just write index. Yeah. SQL index. So
I think plurals to be now indices.
or indices. I just want to use the index. Yeah, I don't know even the plural of that. But my interest is just to know that you are dealing with index, huh? But you can maybe the plural of index is indices. But I just want to, because it's just one, huh? We're just dealing with an index of a table. I mean an index of a table. But there is no harm if you can correct that grammar. So so I was explaining what is index, um, and you guys, I think you can just read from what I have here. Are special lookup tables that the database search engine can use to speed up the data retrieval. So simply put, an index in a pointer to data in a table. An index is in database is very similar to an index at the end of the book. Uh, I think each and every guy here have maybe interacted with a novel, or maybe these large books, or even either in any book. It has that page for indices, whereby you are able to the indices help you to maybe retrieve or guide you where to get certain information. It is the same case here with databases. So the index will just help will help the search engine to retrieve data uh, uh, very fast, and that is why I'm just comparing that index with the index that is usually in the books. So having said that, I think we can just move how we do create those index. We usually have that command for creating indices, and it's just a simple command that is create index, and then you will have to name your index based on what uh, you want it like to do, and then you'll just have the on keyword, and then you'll just specify the table, and then we should add with a semicolon. It's just as simple as that. So I think we will create one index. Let us just create one index here for this our database, that is population data, and we have seen the syntax for creating that is create create what create an index. So we are creating create index. Let me just see that syntax again. So it's create index. I think we can create index on this column, at the first name column. Yeah? So we can just call it first name index, first underscore name underscore index. I can just use idx. Yeah, that is on. Our table is called, that is population underscore data. Is that the case? Let me just counter check that. Yes, I think it should be like that, and then that should end with a semicolon. And this should be population dot. Let me just use this. I don't know why you're getting this. I think that should be the. Let me check something here. Good. And then we can now specify the. I think I left out something here. There should be a parenthesis that will indicate the column, the column name. Let's call name. So in this case, we are just using the first name column. Column. The first underscore name. Then it will end with a semicolon. So I think it should be like that. So we can execute this. I think it has executed. And then we can just try to retrieve this data once more. And then this time we will note the time it will take to retrieve the data. And I think you can see our duration has reduced from was it 0. It was 0.016 to 0.00 seconds. I don't know if you guys are able to see that. I think I can just repeat this. So let us just try to execute this one more time. Oops, I didn't select it all. I want us just to check this. Only, let us just have another query here. Let me just try to illustrate something. Let me have a select query. Select what from this table. Let me just have a where. Last underscore name is let me just use tripon. let us just execute this. They want us to record the time it has taken for this to execute. I need someone to record for me this. I think that one has just taken, it has taken 0.0 second. I want the one that will take some more time to execute. Let me just try to. Let me just have a file here. Let me maybe check email. I think email will try email. We just have a copy of this. Let me just execute this. I think this one has just taken 0.031. So someone should record for me this. Who will record that? I think I can give James that work. James, you should record that time. I want to create an index for the email column. And then we'll just compare the time it will take again to execute. Create index. That is on this. Then I want to use email. I think I can just execute this. And I think I'm getting an error. Email used in I don't know why it is not working. Don't we have a column email? Let me just check. Let me just don't think it should be in speech mark. And just try to execute this once more. We are getting let me just try to debug this. think it should execute. I don't know what is the issue here. Create. We just try to use a different column. Is there something that you are missing?
Is the column name supposed to be enclosed in the square brackets or this type of brackets?
Yeah, it should be parentheses.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just try something here. And just counter check something here. I think it should execute. Let me just try to log in my in my CMD. Let me just confirm something. So let us just try to execute that from here. create index. Let's call it email index. I think you can just check this. Let me just check this error. Let me just check that. I'm just wondering what is the issue here. Let me just try a different.
How about separating the population data and the email, where you have put that parenthesis? There should be no space.
Yes, it should be like that. And I think for an index for our ID has executed. Just wondering why the other fields are not working out. Let me just.
I'm thinking of the space between the population data and the parentheses.
This one.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there. Just in case the system is reading the whole thing as one, maybe we could just try put a space there.
The space between here, but I don't think that is the issue, because when we come to ID, let's assume you are creating an index for ID. we already have that index ID underscore index. But when we come to other fields, we're getting some issues here. Well, let me check this. Let me just try this. Oops. I think we can just use for the, in the meantime, you can just use for the index for the ID, because I can see it has created. Let me just use this select stuff here. Let me just this one. Let me just have this query. As I find out the solution for that. So with this one, we are going to try where ID is equals to, let's say, it is equals to 3. And you notice that the query has just taken 0.0 0.00 seconds to execute. I think we can first like drop. We can drop that index ID index, and then we will have to recreate it again. Let's just drop that. I think we have we have the syntax for dropping an index, and it's drop index and then table dot index name. Let us just drop that. Let's drop index, and then we have is it index? The table we're using here is population underscore data dot what is that our index? It's called ID underscore index. You can try out that. Then we get in an error. You have check the menu for the spot the version. I don't know what is not happening here.
I think we should be dropping the index from the table because it's the table that has the index.
Yes, and the table is called population underscore data. So this is our table name. Let me just try out something here. I don't know what is not happening with these.
I think it should be drop index, then ID index on population data. Drop index, ID index on population data.
Is that the syntax?
Yeah, I think that's the syntax.
Let me just check that. On population, I don't know what is not happening here.
James.
Just a minute. A minute, please. Let me just try to execute this command from here. And see how it is. The index that you want to
drop is ID index underscore index.
Let me just copy the whole stuff here, and then I want to go where ID underscore index is. Anything else that I should add? Drop index. What was the initial syntax? I think it should be as simple as that. Yes, what were you saying? I think something is wrong here.
After that, now you should write on table. Now you bring the table, yes.
Though I doubt these, but let's just give it a try.
Yeah, and it executes.
We are told that the table, has it executed really? No, it hasn't executed.
The table doesn't exist.
So let us just add the population part of it here. Dot. It should be like that, right? I think it has executed. And what were we trying to do? We were trying to retrieve this data without now the index. and we can just execute these. And we can see this one has taken 0.015 seconds to execute. So what about now when we bring the index now? Let us just have, we will have to create that index again. So let me just copy this command here and to create this index again. I want to create index id underscore index on population visa. Let us just execute this. And we are told customer population. Again, we have to specify that you're using this database population. I should be like that. And I think it has executed. So let us just try to retrieve this data below here. And now that you will notice that it has taken 0.00. So without index, it is taking 0.015, and with now the index in place, it's taking 0.00 seconds to execute. So this is normally what happens when you have index. Now it will reduce the amount of time that will take to retrieve data. So I think we can try that with a different column. So let us just try to create an index on this column, the last name. So this is the query to create that. Let me just copy that, and I'm hoping this time it will execute. We are trying to create last name index. Last underscore name index. So that is on population underscore this, and then we have that you're passing in that column here, column name, last underscore name. So I think we should, let us just give it a try and see. I don't know why it is giving this as this error. I don't know. Let me just confirm this.
James.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Remember, the other, except for ID, all the other fields were in the form of text.
So what should we
do? So if it's in form of text, you have to give that. If it's in the form of text, you have to specify the number of characters. So after last name there.
Yes, let me just.
After that part.
Last underscore name.
Last underscore name in brackets. Now maybe specify like 300. The number of characters that you want to index. Yeah, can now
like that.
try running that. Yeah.
Let us just try to. I think it has executed.
Yes.
Is this what we have in the documentation? I think I should.
No, we have more. We there were, I think, 1,000 rows, but we can't run that much. Or can we? I don't know.
I think I'll have to. I think I'll have to recheck that in the documentation, because initially we didn't use we didn't include the number of Nini. But that is okay if it worked. Thank you. So I think we can first we can just maybe let us just drop this.
James.
Yes.
I didn't see it working.
Yeah, it has just
in your screen here. Where is it?
It has executed right here. I don't know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, the one saying 0 rows affected.
Yeah. It has executed successfully. So that means that we have created an index for the last name index. So let us just
Okay.
let us just drop this. I will recreate it again. Let me just. That is, we are dropping last name index. Let me just copy this. I think I'm dragging behind with the documentation. So let me just execute this. So let us just try to retrieve data. The last let us just try to retrieve data where maybe where last name is equals to a certain name, and then we see how many seconds it will take, and then we will now include the index. Then we can just confirm that, right? So let us just last name. Let's just use this. Let me just choose any name in the database. I can just execute this and just choose a random name here that is robust. Let's just that is copied everything. Just one. I want to select from this population where last name is robust. So I think someone should record the number of seconds that this will take to execute to search this record. So let us just execute that. And again, it is taking 0.015 seconds. So let us just create an index for the last name. I think this was the command. Let me just copy this. Let me just copy this somewhere here, and I just try to execute it. And now, after indexing that field or that column, I think we can now just try to retrieve this data now, and then we see how many seconds it will take. So again, we can see the number of seconds has reduced to 0.000. So this is now the importance of having indexed your columns in the database. So in case now you have a million records, and then we should have added some data. In these, I think we can just we can add some more data here. Another 1,000, let's say values. I think we can have that data generated. We have a site that generates data. It's called Mokaru. Let us just try to generate another data here. We can add another. We can add another 1,000 records. Let me just try to regenerate this. It has generated. Let me just open this in SQL in Excel. I'll just have to copy this. Control Shift. And then I'll open the other file. Let me just open it here. Then I'll just have to add that data from here. I think I didn't add it well. Let me just have these open. Let me just open that file. Where is it? It's right here. Oh, I copied the data -1 column. It should start here. Control Shift. Let me just copy all. Then I can just add it from here. This one should just let me just save this. I think I have more data. I think 2,000 records. Let me just check. Yeah, there are 2000 records. I think I can just upload these again. Let me just drop these. Let me just put that table very fast. And I'll just have to import that table once more. Good. So I think you can just give it a minute to import the data. I don't know why it is taking that long to import the data. So in the meantime, I can just update these notes.
Excuse me, James.
Yes.
Just a question.
Yes, ask.
If you have that data in Excel, must you resave it the way you are saving?
In Excel, yes, you must change the extension. It's called the extension. What? The extension. Like if it is an Excel file, you must change it into a CSV file. And by that I mean you will have to change the extension name. That is, if it is dot, is it dot xx? For Excel files, I mean they are saved by what? Is it dot? Let me just check here. I think they are saved by dot xl something. I just confirm. But you will have to convert that Excel data into a CSV file or a JSON file so that you can be able to import it.
Okay, what I mean is when you have that data in Excel, it is already saved on your device. Yes. Can you just go and upload the way you upload a file, maybe the way you do when you submit assignments, when you are now importing it? Or you must go open it, save again the way you are save as?
No, you don't have to do that. My case is different because I was just adding another data so that at least I can have 2000 records. Initially I had 1000 records.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? I don't know if this has finished. I think it finished. So any other question on index? As we wait for that one to load, I was trying to change the syntax here.
Please may I ask something?
Yes, ask.
These notes that you are displaying on the screen, do you download them or you talked about updating? What do you mean?
I want just to update them. I think I'm missing something. Yeah. On
You're updating
on this index stuff. Huh? Yes, I think I have to update them. I think I have to update them because initially I had no the syntax that I was using before. It needs to be updated. All right. create like this one, create the index on a table, and then in case of let's say text data type, you need to include the number of characters in when creating that index. So I think here I can just update something, yeah. Number of, let's say, characters to be index, just for understanding. Yes, I think it should be like that, and I'm hoping that this one has finished. Yeah, because now I have 2000 records. You can just finish that, and let me just refresh this, refresh all, then I have my data here. So I think we can just do another select here, and at this time I want to check how many seconds it will take for me to retrieve. Let me just use this time I'll use an email. Let me just have this select, and I want to use a name. I'm just trying to use the simplest, the simplest what? The simplest, the simplest form of query. You can even have the queries that had join, but I'm just choosing to use these small queries. So let us just check these now that we have 2000 records, and I think we are taking that is 0.031. Let us just have let us just create that index for emails, and see how that will change. How are we creating that? Let me just copy this, and here. This time I want email. That is email index, and then this one should be email. Let us just try to execute these. I'm hoping it will now execute. Yes, it has executed, and I can try now to execute this again, just to see if to see the number of seconds that this one will take. Again, it has reduced to 0.000. I think that is that with indexes. I don't know if there is a person who have a question. You can have multiple. You can create a multiple index. An index with multiple fields. I think I can just illustrate that. We can now let us just have gender, underscore, let's say, underscore IP address. IP address. This should be one word. IP address on this, and then we'll just have to put a comma, and then we'll have now IP underscore address, then you can just specify the number of characters that should be indexed. This one, I think you can just use 20. Then you can just execute these. And that one will execute. So this means that you have now created index for both gender and the IP address. So I think that is all about indexing. You can just try to generate a table with more than let's say 2100 records, and just try to play with this index, and then maybe you will notice that you will save a lot of time. So any question with the index? Any question?
Excuse me, James.
Yes.
My screen inapotea. I think ni Janet.
Yes.
When putting on hizi fields.
Yeah.
Lazima tuweke hizo values uneka, for example, to hizo numbers. Like I'm seeing the numbers, and what do they represent?
What like this one, the create index, gender, IP address, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, this 200. This 200.
What does it mean?
Oh, this 200 means that you're just indicating the number of letters that you want to index in that field, or in that column. So you must indicate, simply because our field is of text type. You must now indicate the number of maybe letters that you want to index.
Okay.
Again, for the IP address, again you have to include the number of numbers or letters that you want to index. So any other question? Any other question? That is now, it can be like from any lesson that you have been having, or rather lecture that we have been having. It doesn't like necessarily have to come from this index lecture.
I have a question.
Yes, ask.
Oh, the 200 that you are putting inside the bracket after you've selected the last name.
Yeah.
What does it stand for? Is it like the ones we use for varchar, or when you are creating a table, or what?
It's exactly that. It's just
Okay.
similar to that. Yeah.
James.
Yes.
There was another Word document that we were referring to during the time we were doing like operator.
Like operator, yes.
It seems you did not share that document.
I thought I shared.
Similarly to this one that you have just used.
Okay, this one I'll share.
Or you could better tell us how can we get those online?
Okay, I'll just have to compile the notes, and then I'll share with you.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I'll just have to I'll have to compile them. Then I said there is one file. So any other question? Today being the last lecture on SQL. Anything that you feel that you want it to be clarified?
Okay, let me go again.
Yes.
Is there a reverse way of retrieving data from the SQL to Excel? For example, what you have done now.
Or now you want to do an export, not an
You want,
import.
yeah, you want to do an export from SQL.
I think from this workbench, I don't really think there is a way you can do that with this workbench. But again, there is always other ways. I think it's only that we didn't cover how to connect to these databases using programming languages. There are other ways you can achieve that. But this workbench, I don't think. So I think if you want to know more, you can just reach out. I'll show you how you can retrieve all those data and save them as an Excel file. But now this time using programming. So any other question? And let me just see who is Bethel.
Okay, the question I wanted to ask is on can you share your screen again?
Yes.
The last line 22. You have written gender IP address.
Oh yes, underscore IP address.
Yeah, underscore IP address.
Index.
Then on the brackets you have last name, comma, IP address.
These should have been gender. But what is happening here? This one is just a random name, so I don't think it will affect whatever I put on this bracket. But again, you should use a reasonable name. Like this one doesn't really make sense because it has gender, and then whatever I'm passing here is last name. It should be gender.
All right.
Yeah. Any other question? As we wind up, I think there is another thing that you should check. That is SQL injection. That is now from a security perspective. I think I'll share with you a file. I have a file. I have a file called SQL injection.
SQL injection.
Yes, I think you should check that. It is an interesting stuff. I'm hoping that you will like it, and maybe you will be able to understand how hackers inject those SQL those harmful SQL queries in your database. I think you should. Where is that file? I think I had that file. I'll share with you. I think I'll share with you the file. And also you should practice. Otherwise you will forget everything. Bedwell, your hand is up.
Sorry, I didn't put it down. Sorry.
Okay. Any comments about our SQL lessons? So someone just to comment on what we have been having for the last 7 days. Should we start with Fahiza Adams? And then I think we should have two ladies and two gentlemen just to comment on our SQL session. Who goes first? Fahiza?
Yes.
Yes, I think you can just comment on what we have been having for the last 7 days.
Can I pass my question to someone else? Maybe Bethwa?
No. You can just comment on just briefly, because I can see we are 9 minutes past our usual time.
Well, I loved the lessons. I enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, any other lady before we go to gentlemen?
James,
yes.
As we went on, my biggest question in my head was, as in, where do we practice this practically? Like the SQL, where do we apply it in practical situations?
Okay, that is a good question. Any other question regarding SQL? I think I'll first take the question and then answer all. Any other question before I address Ali's question?
Let me bring a question.
Yes.
There was a time we were doing a hospital data database, and from when I go to a hospital, it is not one person entering the data. If I go to the lab will give me an ID, and then when I go to pick the drugs, they will give me maybe something like that. So this system means it can be accessed severally, and the data can be entered into by different departments, something like that. Yes. How does that work here, or is there a question outside this class?
No, I think also that one is a good question. Any other question? I think I can just address those two questions and then we can drop off. So to start with James' question. So James' question is a good one. So what we normally have is we have like a centralized database, like the one we just like created for healthcare. So you notice that the test records are recorded by those people who operate from the test department, and then you'll find that again we have the doctors. We have doctors records, again they are entered by doctors department. So what we normally have is now a centralized database whereby any department where after now any department has recorded that data, it will go to one database. So again, we can that is normally what happens with most organizations, or even maybe hospitals, having a centralized database, and then you will have different departments now entering those databases. It's just like the example we had, the one that we designed. So if we had maybe a user interface whereby maybe we have created a user interface to give the people who normally carry out those tests, they will just record from their end, and that data will go to the database where it is maybe hosted. And then we'll find maybe doctors also have another data that they do record. So again, after now they have entered the data, it will again go to that database. So we usually have that centralized database set in place, and it is hosted somewhere. And I think this one now goes to the system maybe that they are using. You notice that hospitals have those hospital management system. That system is the one that will have now access to database. So the users what normally see is that the user interface, but they normally don't understand what normally happens. Like after now they have entered that database, that data, they normally don't know what happens. They just key in the data. I think that is only their business. If they are able to key in their data and retrieve it, I think that is it. So, but now from the back end, we have that centralized data that is connected now to the system that you guys you're using. Yeah, I think that is what normally happens. I don't know if I have answered your question.
Thank you.
So regarding now there is a question that Aris has asked. Is asking where now do we use these? Where do we use these SQL stuff? So as a data scientist, you will always get data from different sources, and one source you can be told to access a MySQL database, maybe the one maybe that is hosted. You get the data from MySQL servers and do the analysis. So if at all now you don't have the skills to access that database, that MySQL database in this case, uh, I don't know how you will work around that without having the knowledge to access and even make queries to that database. I just wonder how you will you will be able to do the analysis of a data maybe that you are not able to access. So the reason why you guys you are learning this SQL is to know how even the data those databases are created, and so while you're doing now the analysis, you'll have a full understanding of, okay, this data I'm getting it from this, and this is how we normally get it. In most cases, let us just assume that you're in an organization that have its data hosted. They have the MySQL servers, like all keeping the data that you are told maybe to do the analysis. So if you don't have the knowledge of how maybe to get that data, you might get stuck. That's why you are now being taught how to work with SQL. There are other databases. It's not only SQL. As I said that I had said earlier that we have several databases. We have those relation databases such as now SQL. But again, we have other databases like Cassandra. We have Mongo databases. So you must know how to access these databases in short, so that you can be able to do the analysis. Any other question? Bedwell?
How is SQL connected to social media? And also maybe closely related to that, maybe you can also tell us how maybe we can. I hear that it is normally used in marketing to do marketing.
Sorry, is normally used
in marketing to study customer behavior and all that. How is it done? Or rather, from what we have done, I don't have an idea now how they do it.
Oh, okay. I think that is also a good question. As I told James, that these systems, even these social media platforms, they are connected to a certain database, like Facebook. Let me just use an example of Facebook. Facebook uses SQL database. So anything that you do in Facebook, let's say it's like when you like that that like is data, and it will be stored. I think you saw when we were creating a table where a table had an ID. So again, when now you create an account with Facebook, you are assigned an ID. So anything now that you do in Facebook, it will now be it will be associated with now the ID that you are given, whether it is likes, whether they are posts, whether they are, what else do you do in whether it is a comment, and any other stuff that you do in Facebook. So now what normally happens, you can be told now to maybe analyze comments, maybe for a certain group of users. So you'll now need to retrieve that data now from the database, so that now you're able to retrieve. Let's say we have Bedwell having commented on maybe something. We have Alvin have commented on maybe something, a certain post that was maybe posted by Fahiza. So you will need that data from Bedwell, and you will need that data from Alvin. It is now already stored in that SQL server. So you'll now just need to retrieve it and now do the analysis. So the analysis can be done. I think you guys did Excel. You can do an Excel now based on what you asked. You can use the Excel. You can use machine learning. If it is the dashboard that maybe you need to create, you can use like in a Tableau, and it all like revolves around that. So, but mostly Facebook, they will use the machine learning to do those analysis.
All right.
Yeah. If there is no any other question, I think you can just drop off. But before we drop off, before tomorrow morning, you will have received your the second assignment, and it should be submitted before Monday. No, before Saturday. That is before Saturday, 11:59 p.m. It will not be a difficult one, and again, it will not be an easier one. So, especially for if you haven't been following whatever you have been doing, but it will just revolve around what we have covered. If there is no any other question, I think I can just drop off. And if you have any question, you can always reach out. Always available to help you guys. So have a good night, and see you next week on Python. In fact, next week we will start Python sessions. So I'll also take you through that for a duration of 3 weeks. I think by the end of 3 weeks we'll have learned a lot again. See, you guys have a good night.